Welcome to e-learning platform. In this session, we will see the next topic of Unit 2, Types and Levels of Testing. At the end of this video, you will understand the concept of performance testing. So first let's understand performance testing. The testing to evaluate the response time, that is speed, throughput, and utilization of the system to execute its required functions in comparison with different versions of the same product or a different competitive product is called performance testing. So the meaning of this definition is that here in performance testing we actually test the system or the software such that we evaluate the response time, throughput, and utilization of the system. Also, we perform this in comparison with different versions of the same product, or we compare it with the competitive product so as to see how is the performance of the system under test as compared to the existing similar product or the similar system or any competitive system or the product. Performance testing is designed to test the runtime performance of software within the context of an integrated system. It occurs throughout all steps in the testing process. At unit level, performance of an individual module may be assessed as tests are conducted. Until all system elements are fully integrated, true performance of a system cannot be determined. This means that while going for performance testing, we need the entire system which should be fully integrated. Then and only then we can get the true performance of the system. Performance testing are often joined with stress testing and usually require both hardware and software instrumentation. It is a non-functional testing technique performed to determine the system parameters in terms of responsiveness and stability under various workload. So, in performance testing, we are not focusing on any requirements of the system as we do in other types of testing. But here, we actually focus on the performance of the system on the basis of some parameters such as responsiveness and stability, and this we have to see under various workload. Now here are the factors that governs the performance testing. Let's see the different parameters or the different factors that actually governs the performance testing. The first parameter or the first factor is throughput. Let's see what we mean by a throughput. The capability of the system or product in handling multiple transactions is determined by a factor called throughput. So here we are actually going to consider how the system is able to perform or is able to handle multiple transactions if done so. It represents the number of requests, business transactions processed by the product in a specified time duration. It varies according to the load the product is subjected to. The load to the product can be increased by increasing the number of users or by increasing the number of concurrent operations of the product. Now here below you can see the diagram over here which shows the throughput of system at various load condition. So here you can see this is the throughput. On the left hand side represents the throughput and this horizontally represents the user load. In this example, the throughput, whatever you are seeing here, keeps increasingly as the user load increases. So here you can see, so as the user load increases, the throughput also increases accordingly. This indicates that the product is capable of delivering more when more users try to use the product. This shows that, in other words, that even though the users or the number of users increases, the performance of the system or the capability of the system of handling multiple transactions or the request that comes from the users is good. In the second part of the figure you can see that beyond certain user load condition, it can be notified that the throughput comes down. So here you can see the throughput is coming down. This is when the users notice a lack of satisfactory response and system takes more time to complete transactions. So the optimum throughput is shown here by the saturation point and is one that is maximum throughput. So the meaning of this one is that this is the point at which, or this is the maximum point at which you can get a good performance, even though here the number of users are increased. But after this point, when the number of users increases, here it might take more time to respond to the request that comes from the users. That means the response time increases. So obviously this will slow down the performance of the system. That is, the throughput comes down. Throughput represents how many business transactions can be serviced in a given duration for a given load. So I repeat here once again, throughput is nothing but the capability of the system or the product in handling multiple transactions or the multiple requests that comes from the users. So in this example, we have seen that when the number of users keep on increasing, then too also here the performance of the system is good. So here the response time is good, and it also represents that the system is capable of handling multiple requests that comes from the users. So this is the maximum limit, or what you can say the saturation point till which the throughput is good. But after this, the throughput or the capability of the system, you can say, is low, or the performance is low, which indicates that after this point, if the number of users keep on increasing, the response time will be more, and that will automatically slow down or will bring down the throughput. Indirectly, it will affect the performance of the system. Next factor that governs the performance testing is response time. It can be defined as the delay between the point of request and the first response from the product. So, in other words, I will say that it is the time between the request and the response that has given by the product. In a typical client server environment, it represents the delay between the request and response. This factor helps us to know that how much time the system takes to respond or to give response to the request received from the user. Response time increases proportionally to the user load. Now let's see the third factor, latency. Now, as we saw in response time, that it is the delay between the point of request and the first response from the product. Now there we saw the term that is delay. But delays not only happen between request and response. It may also be caused due to networking resources shared. Hence, it is important to know what delay the product causes and what delay the environment causes. So here, latency is nothing but it is a delay caused by the application, operating system, and by environment that are calculated separately. For latency, we can consider an example where a user requests for any transaction, and as per the request, the system has to give the response. The system has given the response in time, in proper time, but just because of any networking resources that we have used in the network, or due to the any different problems of the operating system or any other environments, that can cause a delay in the response to the request that has received. So that delay you can consider here as latency. Next factor that governs the performance testing is tuning. It is a procedure by which product performance is enhanced by setting different values to the parameters of the product, operating system, and other components. This means that here we have to test the system to observe the performance, but this performance has to be checked on the basis of different parameters of the product. So here we have to consider different values for those parameters, which will help us to understand at which value we can get the good performance of the system. Tuning improves the product performance without having to touch the source code of the product. The default values may not always give the optimum performance. Hence, there is necessity to change the values of parameters to suit the deployment. So, tuning is nothing but we actually consider different values for the parameters that we consider in performance testing. And here we need to change the values of those parameters so as to suit the deployment and to get a better performance product. Next factor is benchmarking. A very well improved performance of a product makes no business sense if that performance does not match up to the competitive products. It is important to compare the throughput and the response time of the product with those of the competitive products, which is our main aim of performance testing. So benchmarking is the factor where we see that our product should stand the good one in performance, and for that we have to compare our system with other competitive systems or the products on the basis of the factors such as throughput and response time that I explained previously. This type of performance testing, wherein competitive products are compared, is called benchmarking. A careful analysis is done to chalk out the list of transactions to be compared while going for benchmarking. Now here you can see the performance testing is summarized. So as per the performance testing I explained previously. So this is the summarization of performance testing. First is, it processes the required number of transactions in any given interval. Then next is, when we go for performance testing, we have to also ensure that whether the product is available and running under different load conditions, that is availability. We also need to know how the product responds fast enough for different load conditions, that is response time. Also here in performance testing, we have to see that our system or the product is comparable to and better than that of the competitors for different parameters. So the methodology for performance testing involves the following steps. First is, you have to collect the requirements. Secondly, we have to write the test cases. Third, automating performance test cases. Fourth, executing performance test cases. Fifth, analyzing performance test results. Sixth, performance tuning. Seventh, performance benchmarking. And eighth, recommending right configuration for the customers. So these are the steps that we need to follow as a part of the performance testing. Now let's see the process for performance testing. A majority of performance issues require rework or changes in the architecture and design. Hence, it is important to collect the requirements for performance earlier in the life cycle and address them. It is important here to decide whether the requirements are testable to ensure that the performance requirements are quantified and validated. So making the requirement testable and measurable is the first activity. So while going for performance testing, as a part of this process, we have to decide which requirements are testable and to ensure that the performance requirements are quantified and validated. After this, requirement testable and measurable, which is the first activity. The next step is the test plan, where we need to have the details of resource requirements, test lab with all required equipment and software configuration prior to execution, responsibilities of the team, entry and exit criteria. So as a process of performance testing, our next step is to go for the test plan and consider all these test labs, the equipments required, the software configuration, responsibilities of the team, entry and exit criteria, everything in the test plan. After this, the next step in performance testing is designing and automating the test cases, without which it is impossible to perform performance testing. So we have to design and automate the test cases essential for testing the performance of the system. Next is entry and exit criteria, which plays a major role. At regular intervals during product deployment, the entry criteria are evaluated and the test is started if those criteria are met. At the end of performance test execution, the product is evaluated to see whether it met all exit criteria. If some of them are not met, improvements are made to the product to fill the gap. So this is what we have to carry out, the steps that we have to carry out as a process for performance testing. Now here are the advantages of performance testing. It assesses whether a component of system compiles with specified performance requirements. Secondly, it compares different systems to determine which system performs better. With this, we come to the end of today's session. Happy learning.